Hi everybody, it's Carrie and welcome back to another video. Wow guys, we're starting off this video with my hair looking absolutely crazy. I just got out of the shower and I have a wedding that I'm supposed to be going to this weekend, so I'm trying to control myself from cutting my hair because I hate it when it starts to get super long. If you guys don't know me, my name's Carrie. I run Traveling Pony Studios and I do all types of content, and in today's video, you guys, I feel like we do this all the time, but I have actually received comments that people do like these, like what I crochet in a week videos, so I keep making them because people seem to somewhat enjoy them. Maybe this week I'll actually remember to like record the content for TikTok and stuff too, because I forgot last week, and then by the time I forgot, I had already put everything in their boxes and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going back through and re-pulling everything and like recording it again. So I do have my one box, and I'll preface this by saying, like, if you've watched these before, you guys already know this is like not everything I crocheted. I have so much stuff that needs to be sewn right now. It is actually like crazy, but they haven't been sewn. If you guys don't know, I run this business. Of course, I do all the crocheting myself, but I do have somebody who's technically my amazing mother who helps me a lot with like fastening off things, sewing things. I don't know if I would be able to work at the capacity that I work at if I didn't have some type of help. Especially since this is not my full-time job. This is just something that I do to help pay for my horse. You know, I would love for it one day to become more of like a quote-unquote full-time job, but realistically it's not that. I make enough money to help pay for his bills, and that's that. So maybe one day it will change, but this is where I'm at. And luckily my mom helps me with it all, and we just have a lot of things that need to be sewn. But I do have some things, and you'll see they're not all like cohesive. Like technically like a turtle, like I might have 3 finished here, but I crocheted 8. And I have some interesting things, so I guess let's quickly go over this list of like what I still need to get done, because I think I did this in another crochet video. I was like, okay, let's go over the list of like basic first stuff that I'm gonna finish up, just to show you guys how much I still have left technically. So basically from small items right now, I just need to make 2 stingrays, 7 sloths, pink turtles, and 4 pink whales. And then if I decide to do the mini cats, but that's not really a priority, that's like a store thing, and they're so easy to make that if I needed to go to a store, it would be easy for me to sit down and crochet like in an hour. So it's not really a priority. I'd probably spend that time doing other things. And then for the larger items, I have 3 flamingos. You'll see one of the flamingos is in this box. The other one still needs to be finished off, and then I gotta crochet the last flamingo after I do this video. And then 2 hedgehogs, lavender cow, 3 cream pegasus, 1 blue unicorn, 2 hammerheads, 2 lambs, 1 flower crown cow, 4 pigs, 5 bunnies, and a moose. So it is October 28th when I'm recording this video. My next market is November 23rd. Doing fairly well, unless something crazy happens with like stores or something that really causes me to like lose a lot of inventory. But of course the best thing is last month I had moved into 2 stores, so I lost so much stock. So I felt like I was never able to really get to a comfortable place with my stock, especially smaller items that are in stores, because I like literally lost it all and then was trying to make it, and it was just a lot. So this month, of course, I'm not moving into any stores, thankfully. And so I'm not having to necessarily scramble to remake the smaller stock like I was before. And of course, I'll talk about this more in future vlogs probably, but there's definitely going to be some changes I think going on with some of the store stuff. I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to keep doing it once my contracts run up. So we can talk about that in another video. If you guys have any questions about things related to the stores, feel free to drop them below and I will answer them and try and give my honest thoughts, because they're thoughts. But without further ado, let's start to go through this box. Things might be out of order. I honestly did not organize it at all before sitting down to record this, so sorry if things are out of order. So to start us off with, I have a pink penguin. I think the last market I essentially sold a pink penguin, a blue penguin, and then maybe a regular penguin. I can't remember off the top of my head. Honestly, I still need to record that market overview video. So guys, apologies on that one. I will get to recording that at some time this week. But I just had to remake like 1 or 2 penguins, and so I figured why not sit down and make them all in one day, because they don't really take that long to make. So I've got the pink one right here, and then this is the blue one. So it's really funny that the color variation sold better than the normal penguins, but honestly it's kind of been like that. Like, it's weird how the color variations like purple, pink, blue sell better than like gray penguins. I don't know. This is the one baby flamingo that I have done. So like I said, the other one is downstairs, and then I have the parts for the last one that I need to make. So I will finish up all the flamingos tonight, and that's 3 more things off my list. But I do have this guy, and the last market I did was the first market I think I've done since doing this pattern that I actually sold them at markets. I've sold them more at stores than I have markets. So I did finally sell, I think I sold 3, I believe, that day, which is the most I've ever sold of these. So I have this one. I have 2 of these manatees. I think 1 sold at a store and then 1 sold at the market. Now this is not the normal color that I do the manatees in. I typically do it in the darkest gray that Chanel Home Slim offers, but for some reason I have so much yarn, and I just bought more yarn, but I don't have this dark color. Like, it's not a color that I normally like think of to get, and I didn't order it when I made my last Michaels order, and then I actually was at Michaels today getting some things for something else, and they didn't have that super dark gray, which surprises me because it's not really like a popular color. So I was really surprised when they didn't have it. So I did end up just making these guys in the lighter gray opposed to the super dark gray. I don't think it's a big deal. It's still a dark gray. Maybe if it was like silver or light gray it would be, but I do have these 2 to get me back up to my, I think I typically do 4 for the manatees. So guys, I'm not very proud of this, but I should show it, but I'm not proud of it. So I got this pattern, and yeah, I'm just gonna quickly show it because like I said, I'm not proud of it, but I guess it's like a good example of, you know, you can crochet for a long time, and I've just been doing this like a little bit over a year, but I've spent so many hours crocheting, I still make things that I'm not proud of. So I have this thing. That's all I'm gonna say. Now I will stay talking about some like newer things. I've mentioned before that I'm gonna be applying to go to a convention, and the application fee opens like November 2nd, November 3rd, so it's October 28th. So I have been trying to make some more patterns that are not amigurumi per se, but are kind of in that cartoon, Disney, anime type of realm, just so that way, you know, like, I would still bring these plushies probably to a convention, but I think I would be a little bit more selective in what I'm choosing. And of course, there's also a really big appeal there for items that are anime, comic, cartoon themed. I don't have it with me. I'll include a picture on the screen. I ended up making a mudkip from Pokemon. That was one of my favorite starters. So I ended up making a mudkip. It took a little bit of time for sure. It certainly involved a lot of sewing. I would say like, and it was a pretty decent sized plushie. I actually had somebody who was over, and I finished up like sewing everything, took some photos of it, took like some videos and whatnot, and then they were like, oh, are you gonna sell that one? And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, it's gonna come with me to the markets. It's like, I just did this so I can get some more pictures and stuff for my portfolio. And so they asked if they could buy it, and I was like, I didn't know if they were really like certain, but they were. So I ended up selling that little guy. Pretty much like by the time I finished sewing him, took some photos, took care of my barn, little guy was gone. So I don't have him anymore because, I mean, I like literally couldn't even take a video of him like upstairs. I just got the videos and pictures for the social media stuff, but I also did make that mud kip. I'm working my way back through the turtles. I think the last video or something I did purple turtles. Now we're moving to blue and green. So I technically have crocheted all of the blue and greens, but they just need their head sewn, fastened off, all the good things. And then the last turtle color I'll do is the pink. I've not started on that one, but I'll plan on doing like 8 like I am with the other guys. So I have 4 right here of the blue turtles. And then I have 1 of the green ones. And like I said, I've got all the other ones downstairs. They just need to be fastened off, all that good things. But I am trying to make enough turtles so that way hopefully maybe I don't have to remake them. I kind of just shoot on 4 for a market. They aren't the best sellers for me just because I feel like they're such a generic item. They kind of sell decently at stores, so that's kind of why I like to try and have some stock built up. I have 1 purple squid and then I have 1 blue squid. I think 1 went to a store, maybe both went to the store, so just remaking them because I like to have 2 just so that way I have some back stock in case I do have to give 1 away. So I have these 2. Like I said, guys, I also have this turtle, so technically 5. He was just hiding at the end of the box. All right, and I have some sharks now. So technically I crocheted 5 of these sharks, but 1 went to a store, so I don't have that one anymore. But then when I was in the process of crocheting that one, I was like, you know what? I already have the colors out, like I got the pattern out. Let me just remake them for the market because I think I sold probably the same thing, the most of this particular pattern last market than I've sold at any market. I don't even think before that I'd even sold one at a market. I went ahead, made 5. 1 went off to the store. So now I have 4 for my next market. And then if anything sells at the stores. But this is a pattern that like doesn't sell super well for me. But I do like to have a shark pattern, if that makes sense. I only had to make so many of certain things. So I only had to make 4 of these roosters. So I got 4 of them done. And then I only had to make 4 of these mallards. So I went ahead and got them done too because it's just, like I said, it's so much easier for me to just, if I have the pattern open and I'm like thinking about it, to just make it, because some of these patterns I memorize. So like the first one I might have to like take a little peek at the original pattern, but then I like the second or third one I've got it pretty much like, I feel like seared in my brain. So I typically will make the same thing and then just try and like knock it out so I don't have to think about it, hopefully a week. That's the hope, but it doesn't seem to happen that way. And then we've just got some like random miscellaneous ones. Same thing as catching up. This is 1 panda. This is 1 of the little mini elephant. Then I have 2 of these Yodas. Technically, I do have 8 that have been crocheted. They have just not been finished off, but I do have these 2. I went ahead and crocheted enough of these possums to I think get back up to 10, I think is what I shot for. And I've said this before, for the gray part of the possum, I just typically use whatever yarn I have that's open. I don't think it really matters if you go for a darker gray, lighter gray. I haven't really noticed a difference. So I technically have 7 when everything is said and done. So that gets me back up to 10. And then the last thing I have is this little poo. So if anyone wants to know what the pattern is, I can't link it because I believe this is a Patreon exclusive pattern, but I can tell you the creator is Madeline May Co. So I, this past month, ended up joining quite a few Patreons, and there are quite a few people who have Patreons and then do Patreon exclusive patterns. One of the reasons can be maybe to avoid some copyright issues that Etsy has if you make a character based on like a Disney thing or whatever. So this one I believe is Patreon exclusive, but I went ahead and made this guy, and I think I might make a few more like this, or I might potentially explore another poo pattern. I'm not 100% certain, but I finally did sell my really big poo, and one of the things I always heard at the markets, people were constantly asking me for a smaller version of Pooh that was, of course, more affordable and not as expensive as the previous one. So everybody, that is basically everything that I've crocheted kind of over this past week. There's still a lot more. Of course, things have already left and I'm still trying to make things, and I'm trying to catch up on this list and also throw in a few fun things as well for the convention and getting just my portfolio looking a little bit better for that one and a little bit hopefully more enticing to a jury, because I believe it's a pretty extensive jury process because there's a lot of applications. So I'm looking forward to that, hoping I get in because I feel like it'd be really fun. But who knows? If not, I'm certain I can find something else to do. I don't think that will be a problem. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Who knows what the next one will be, because I feel like I'm so behind on recording and I'm constantly catching up on editing. So I can't say what the next video will be. But I hope to see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. Bye!